What's up, everybody? I'm C.J. Moore with Basketball Prospectus, making my nerve-filled debut on the Sabermetrics Network. Today, I'm talking about offensive and defensive rebounding percentages, the two easiest advanced stats to figure out in my book. Quick lesson for you. Offensive rebounding percentage is the percentage of your team's misses that result in a rebound that you get back, and defensive rebounding percentage is the percentage of your opponent's misses that your team ends up with a rebound. Obviously, the number of shots made in the game affects this number, and that's what often gets ignored simply by looking at the hard data. I believe a lot of coaches think this way, only they don't use the vernacular. A great example comes from a press conference I attended after a KU game this past year. Bill Self was asked why his team didn't grab many offensive rebounds that particular night. The reason for this question was KU's opponent that night had a good number of offensive rebounds. KU, obviously, did not. The SparkNotes version of what Self said was, we rarely miss, so we didn't have many chances to grab an offensive rebound. What Self could have said is, look at the offensive rebounding percentages, we weren't that far off. The bugaboo of us advanced stats guys is anyone who brings up rebounding margin as a way to measure rebounds. Saying the best rebounding team in the country is the team with the best rebounding margin is like saying the best shooter in the country is the guy that makes the most baskets, regardless of attempts. By calculating rebounding percentage, you take out tempo and get an adjusted number. A great example from this past year is the team that led the country in rebounding, North Carolina. The Heels are a high possession team with a low turnover rate, and they rarely force a lot of turnovers. So there's always a lot of shots and thus a lot of rebounds. Just like pace can affect rebounding margin, defensive principles can as well. Kentucky, for example, when you looked at their rebounding margin, looked to be a great rebounding team. Only they were only really good on one end, the offensive end. The reason for this was Anthony Davis. The kid tried to block everything. And when you try to block everything, it hardly ever fails that great shot blocking teams rank much lower in defensive rebounds. In fact, I looked up the 10 best shot blocking teams in the country this past year, and only one ranked in the top 100 in defensive rebounding percentage. That was Self's Jayhawks, who ranked 52nd in the country in defensive rebounding percentage and 9th in block percentage. What helped the Jayhawks was they had the best shot blocking big man in the country in Jeff Whitby, and then they had Thomas Robinson playing alongside him, who led the country in defensive rebounding percentage. If you put Robinson behind Kentucky's Davis, obviously Kentucky's rebounding percentage would go way up. So, my fellow stat nerds, remember that if your team blocks a lot of shots, you shouldn't be alarmed if they rank low in defensive rebounding percentage. And most importantly, say no to rebounding margin and preach the percentages. Hit me up on Twitter at CJ Moore at CJ Moore 4 for suggestions on future videos and how to calm my nerves. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to tune in next week for another tempo-free lesson.